pouring through the window pane with our cups of warmth and love. KD and Dali talking about things above. One sip at a time, our thoughts align, sharing stories, secrets divine. In this moment, everything's just right. Good morning, let's make this day bright.
Good morning, everybody. I've got a special guest with us today. It is Katie Moonchild from Katie Moonchild's World.
Hi!
Everybody, hang on 1 second. Rick is just calling me. Hang on 1 second. Hi, Rick. You're a special guest on my show.
Hi, Rick.
Just called me back.
Yes, I did. See, now, are you calling me to tell me something, or are you calling me because I called you?
You called me and I stopped to go to the bathroom.
I wanted to tell you a funny story, and I can tell everybody a funny story here. So I'm sitting here in my meditation room getting ready for my show, setting up my computer and stuff. And all of a sudden I hear some loud polka music going past the house. I look out the window and there was a truck driving past with people in the back of it playing polka music.
That is awesome.
So I just wanted to share that with you.
Okay.
All right, everybody say hi to Rick. Oh, everybody say hi to you.
Hello.
All right, thanks, Rick. I'm going to let you go.
Bye.
All right, see you soon. All right, love you. Bye.
Bye. Love you.
So yeah, that happened this morning.
So come. Oh, that's cool. It's like, I'm going only in Milwaukee.
Only in Milwaukee will you, only in Milwaukee.
Only in Beerland, America.
At 9 a.m, have a polka band driving past your house, just some random street.
Only in beer and cheese land.
Yes, that's right. So we got Fatima here. Good morning, Fatima. It is good to see you.
Hey.
And we've got Flowing here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Nancy just got here. Nancy caught us live.
Hey.
Woo! I'm excited that you're here,
Hi,
Nancy.
Fatima.
Nancy, that Tau, was it called the Tau Oracle that you were showing us the other day? I really want to get that deck. Like every card that you brought up, I was just it was like a progressive journey. It was amazing. Hi, Jay. Good morning. Thanks for coming. Welcome.
I'm, some of the decks that are new, that are like some that are just coming out being published, they're incredible.
This one that Nancy was showing us is not a new deck. It's an older deck.
Yeah, the Tau Tarot.
I think it was a new to her deck, but it's an older deck. But it was really, I was just like, oh. So, because of people like Nancy and you, Katie, and so many others, my wish list on Amazon and house is so big now. Nobody will ever have a problem finding a present for me for Christmas because all I got to do is buy one of the 16,000 cards decks that I have on my list right now. Good morning.
I'm giggling with my peace sign here because they're not just double V's, y'all. Because as we're dressed in our Weirdos Unite, what's up, weirdos?
Yes.
Hey, Van City Van Life, Chrome. Anyway, I'm sitting here going, that's me. I have two. I don't just do one. I have two.
Oh, Gerald is here too. Hey, Gerald. Good morning. Thanks for coming by.
Awesome.
Well, I feel very blessed today that you guys are all here today. That makes me extremely happy.
Hey, Nils. Good to see you too.
Yes, our dear friend Nils.
What a wonderful room. Woohoo.
Nils says, a blessed Woden's Day to all. Feel the presence of the All-Father in your own surroundings.
I do.
Feel his war drum beat as your heart beats inside your chest, just as his son Thor beats his hammer against his anvil. Yes, Thor.
You know what? That really speaks to me, Nils, because we all know Dolly's into drumming as she's for meditating and stuff. And
Yes.
So am I, but I have a drum, but I don't do a drum. I always drum on my chest because that's where I feel it. Yeah.
Does he think of the runes well aware of them? Oh, Nils, let us honor he who is wisdom's foundation and wise man's comfort to every hero, and of blessings and hope to Odin, the master of ecstasy, the god of fury and rage, the far wanderer. I have a when I think of Odin, although I do think of him as a war god, a god that hurls his spear. I really connect with the part of him that is the far-reaching wanderer. The man with the big hat that has kind of a Gandalf look to him, that is just sort of wandering and intermingling and spewing out wisdom and experience to everyone. And that's how I connect with Odin the most, is with that part of him, But I'll tell you what, I can open up a can of whoop ass too if I need to. So there's that.
Yeah, she can. She's been trained. You see her hands. When she's doing readings, you see her hands.
They're all messed up.
They're all broke up, girls and boys. She did the martial arts thing, y'all.
Yeah, and SBA and lots of fighting with swords.
That's awesome though, because of the philosophy that goes with it. You don't use it unless it's absolutely necessary.
It's a defensive. It's more of a defensive posture than an offensive posture. Yeah. Spy! Skull! Skull!
Hi! Skull!
Skull to everyone. Good morning. Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys about something real quick this morning before we get too deep into the fun here. I wanted to talk about something that has been put on my heart. And I feel like it's important. I feel like we need to focus on this. Be very, very careful. So many of us spend so much time in social media. A lot of our social life is in social media. We look to social media for our entertainment, like YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and things like that. We really immerse ourselves in this digital online world, but we got to be very, very careful that we're not allowing what we're seeing there to dictate our view of the external outside real world. Okay. And something that happened to me yesterday when I was at the dentist made me smile, and it made me realize that a lot of the fear mongering that is going on in the collective social media experience right now is a complete construct. Okay. And what I saw was this. Okay. I parked my truck. I was walking up to the building. There was a man in a MAGA hat, and he held the door open and said good morning or good afternoon, and gave this lady a big smile and was very kind to her. And she was wearing a "When we fight, we win" shirt. And she said, "Thank you very much." And they just smiled at each other, and they walked past each other and went about their business. And I was like, see, that is what America wants. America wants kindness. America wants civility. You don't have to like everything that people think or feel here in America. We are a giant country full of so many cultures and so many different types of people in all walks of life. We're never all going to be all on the same page at the same time, but we can still be kind. We can be kind. And that is so important. So please, if you're immersing yourself into a media that is projecting information at you, TV, computers, your phone, tablets, all project light into your eyes, into your brain, and change you.
Yes.
So please step away from the computer, step away from the phone, step away from the tablet. Even if it means you not watching me one morning, if you're feeling a certain kind of way because of things that you've been seeing, if you've been oversaturated with stuff that's not making you feel good, step away from this stuff, get out into nature, commune with the gods, okay? Or
Yeah.
God, or whatever you believe. I don't care. Get outside and let nature heal you from all that stuff. Because the truth is, I feel that people are far more civil. I don't think that we're on the verge of civil war. I don't think that all these scary things that are being projected at us are real. I think that people just want to love again and be kind. So let's show kindness to one another. That MAGA guy opening the door and smiling to that lady and being kind speaks volumes to me that people want the kindness. They don't want the fear, the anger,
And the hate.
childish name calling. They don't want any of this. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What do you think, Katie?
For the most of us, I would have to say we're adults.
Yes.
We're really sick and tired of being back in the schoolyard.
Right. But I think that a lot of people,
I'm reminded of that a lot.
yes.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm reminded of that a lot, especially on Sundays. I had to put strict boundaries on. There's a reason why you guys that are in here, you have shows that are on in the evenings. There's a reason you don't see me there. I don't do YouTube. Usually don't do YouTube much after 4:30 Pacific time. I've had it by the end of the day. It's enough energy that I just want the quiet. Hey, Viviani, I just want the quiet. I want to listen to the birds outside and maybe listen to the fan vibrating. I don't know. That triggers my Kundalini. So, but I can't, I have to shut it down.
Yes. Yes. And I'm glad that you do. And I think that that's really important. I feel like, especially people like yourself, you live alone and, you know, you don't have a lot of interaction with the outside world. I'm glad that you take time away from what's being projected at you.
Yeah. I'm not a social butterfly. I did that.
Right.
To the point of being really, really grateful that I'm here talking to you. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I did all that before. I really like my quiet life. I respect the quiet.
I like what Nils is saying here too. Don't just listen to the media, listen to your own self. Absolutely. Stand by your own trial and by what others say. Yeah, that is 100% true.
Absolutely.
And that is the thing. I think that a lot of the antagonism that is being portrayed on social media is a complete lie. It's constructed, and it's meant to keep us afraid, and it's meant to keep us under the thumb, under control. So just love people, love nature, love the God, however you worship, and the spirits, or even just humanity in general. Just love, you know, and the fear will subside on its own, and you will feel so much better. You know?
Nancy says, I require alone time. It nurtures my soul.
Yes. Yes.
You know, you guys all you know, well, most of you all know I've been going through a really tough time the last couple of months. And I have not, the last thing I've given a crap about is politics.
Right.
That's to the point where so much of it bombards me on YouTube. For 2 months, I haven't really watched a whole lot of YouTube either. I just started this last weekend catching up with everybody because just my emotions were so raw.
Right.
And this is YouTube is my connection to the outside world. And I love it because my outside world is huge compared to the people who are face to face, and that's their only world.
Right.
So I'm grateful for social media too, you know.
There's nothing wrong with that at all, Katie. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I know.
What I'm talking about is the projections that we're getting of fear and hate and slander, and we're seeing it from both sides of the spectrum. It's not just Republicans, it's not just Democrats, it's coming from both sides.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to use some discernment. And if it's making you feel scared or full of fear or hateful, I mean, turn it off and walk away and get outside and commune with nature or talk to your neighbors. Just do something where you're taking yourself out of that. Because when you have media projected into your eyes, okay, like we do with our computers and our televisions and our phones, it does change something in your brain in a way that reflected light does not. Reflected light is healing.
It charges.
Looking at a tree, looking at the grass, looking at the rivers, the lake, that all is very healing. It's a reflected light. We take it in a very different way than having something projected at us like this. So just everyone
There's
be careful.
a reason why Nikola Tesla came up with the 369 concept. The man was creating electricity in massive amounts, and he had to balance himself spiritually and be grounded. Otherwise, there's no way he could have survived what he was doing.
Right.
He would have electrocuted himself.
Right.
Just because of complacency.
Right. Jen is saying it's really hard to be a dem out there in Trump land. At the wedding I was at on Saturday, there were so many convos about their plans for when Trump wins. And that's going to happen. I mean, when you get into a room of like-minded people, if you were in a room full of people who are like-minded with you, of course, you're going to have a very different experience than if you're in a room full of people who are completely different. I understand that. I kind of had that experience when I was out in Massachusetts because my partner's family is strongly Republican, and I had to walk away a few times too. I didn't want to start an argument. I didn't want to start a fight because I don't believe that any of that is going to do any good right now. I think that people are pretty solidly where they're going to be. The only difference is the people who walk that very middle line, that very moderate.
You that are left walking that razor edge.
Yeah. So totally. But I feel you, Jen. Totally do.
But like I told you earlier, my opinion on all of this now, give him a microphone. Let him go off script all he wants.
Yeah. I mean, let him talk.
That's all I got to say, because every time he opens his mouth, a whole bunch more go, I can't deal with this no more.
Right. And I don't want to get into a political, this is what you should believe kind of.
No.
I don't want to do that. I don't want my channel to be about that. But I did want to talk about this social media thing because I feel that people's perception of the world is being dictated to them through the projection of me.
The algorithms trying to match what you just looked at. Maybe you bumped accidentally you notice where the where the ads are placed on your cell phone, right where this part of your hand will bump it and take you off into that ad. Well, those people, once you go into that ad, they can get all your demographics and information from you.
That's right.
Luckily nowadays you've got face recognition and stuff like that. So I have Google set to face recognition. It can't do that to me no more.
Right.
So you just have to be, and especially now, those of us who are basically over 35, we are getting bombarded with scam calls. Oh, between scam calls,
yes,
and political canvassers. I'm just warning y'all, if you try to call me and I don't have your number, you better text me first and let me know who you are, because I won't answer. Liable to get blocked, as a matter of fact. I'm so quick. I'm just blocking everybody tonight.
Yeah, that's like the best way to handle it. I like what Nils says here. The weather is beautiful lately. It's the harvest season.
It is.
You know what? Here this morning, Nils, it was 59 degrees when I woke up. And when the sun came up, it was bright. It is so brilliant. The sky is so blue. There's like that crispness in the air. I'm starting to see a couple leaves starting to change here and there. And yeah, pumpkin season.
I noticed the fall coming in a little differently down here in Arizona, southern Arizona even. I'm only 90 miles from the border, y'all. So the Mexican border. I noticed the change in the intensity of the light. Like you're talking about it being so clear, crystal clear and pretty for you. For me, it gets a golden hue to it.
Oh, that's nice.
And so, yeah. And I noticed it. I noticed it maybe 3-4 weeks ago that the light was getting more golden. And I'm like, fall's coming! And you're
Yes,
going,
I'm so
but
excited.
it's 105 where you are.
I love fall. I've got a fellowship retreat coming up with the Fellowship of Northern Traditions in October, so I'm really looking forward to that. I really need to be with my people.
Yeah.
So getting out into the woods and drumming and chanting and just venerating the gods, I cannot wait to do that. Viviani says, I feel the political talk was making me stressed even when things were favorable to Democrats. I needed to stay away from that energy. And I feel that too.
You know
I'm
what,
kind of in the
Viviani?
same place.
I did not watch. Only speeches that I watched through the DNC were the Obamas. That's it. I didn't watch Kamala. I didn't watch Tim. Because I was in such an emotional state that extreme joy would make me sob. So I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't. And so even now to this day, the only thing I've really latched onto about this is I'm a childless Catwoman who votes, damn it.
I'm a childless Catwoman. Woo!
And I vote loudly. I mean, no, I don't tell you who I vote for because that's none of anybody's damn business. So you get a pollster asking you as you're coming out of voting who you voted for. That's all they get from me. It's like, no, sorry, I ain't telling you. None of your business. And I'm a registered independent. So
Jen, what was the temperature up there in West Bend this morning? We had 59 here in Milwaukee. It was beautiful. It's so beautiful out there, though. And Fatima says, I see all the trees changing to beautiful colors. Oh, yeah, because you're up in Canada. It's probably starting to change up there right now.
Okay, you guys.
Also a childless Catwoman. Jen is saying, so nice out. I was thinking about getting the kilt on for a stroll. Yes, do it.
I love it, Benjamin. Yes, I'm Scottish. Do it, go.
Get out there and put on that kilt and don't wear underwear.
My ancestors go back. My ancestors, I'm related to a Scottish girl. I don't know if you have heard of Bob and John Erskine. He was a Jacobite who, anytime he was around the king, he was, get rid of the clans. Yeah. All we've done is war. And then when he was around the clans, it was like, the king, That's why they called him Bobbin. Well, he got exiled, and they put a price on his children's heads. So they came here.
Yeah.
That's how I got here.
It's interesting to hear the stories of why people came to America. There's so many. Every family that's here has a story about why they came here, which I think is neat. Floyd wants to see the kilt. I do too, kind of.
Absolutely.
I want to see that.
Anyway.
Don't get me wrong, if we all would be more concerned about our own actions and their consequences and care less about others, if everyone did, imagine what this place would be. Word. Amen. Oh, Campbell Sport. That's right. You're in Campbell Sport. It's 56 this morning. It's 72 right now. Why did I think you were in West Bend? Or are you from West Bend, but you're in Campbell Sport now? I don't. You know what?
It's absolutely gorgeous. You guys, let's go out and let's go eat some breakfast. Look at what my temperature is right now.
Yeah. Poor Katie's got a heat advisory for
I was going to say, and then I show you the top part, and it shows you the heat advisory. It's supposed to be 106 today. Got a long ways to go to get there. I don't think it's going to make it. I really don't.
You're from West Bend. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I love Campbell Sport. Did I ever tell you my funny story about my cousin's grandma's farm in Campbell Sport? My cousin's grandma went into the hospital because she broke her hip, and we were taking care of the animals for her. And somehow, the cows broke through there was a divider between where the cows were in the barn and the pigs were in the barn. And the divider fell down or broke, and the cows got into the pigs' feed. And, that's a big no-no when cows are not supposed to eat any kind of.
No. They'll get bloat.
And they get crazy. They got crazy. So not only did they break down the enclosure and got into the pigs' feed, they broke through the enclosure and were in the general area in the barn. And when we walked in, this freaking cow chased me and was like pushing me with its head. And I quick climbed up the ladder to the hayloft and was hiding up there. And I was like, Ann, come save me. These cows are crazy.
Save me from that mad cow.
The stupid cow. Anyways, I did tell you that story. Okay. It's the only funny thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh yeah, right. Sure.
Hey, let's ask a question. Are you guys?
You didn't have a polka band go down your street earlier. That
well, I did. That was pretty funny. That was pretty
okay.
Funny. You're absolutely right. So I had 2 funny things happen in my life. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's ask a question.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me start with this one. What's the most amazing weather you've seen? What's the most amazing weather you've seen? And I always let everybody kind of start answering first before I say what my amazing.
See what they got to say. Mine just went. Yeah, I know. I've seen so much crazy weather. It's like pick one. Ow.
Right.
I live in Arizona and I lived in a national park in Oregon. Come on.
I don't need to yell for the gods to hear me. They have heard my actions loud enough. So now I only whisper.
Yes.
I'm of that same opinion. I'm not a God shouter. Although I have to say that if it's lightning and thundering outside, I always run out and go, Thor! It's so powerful moment, But when I'm talking to Njord or Freya or Freyr, even Tyr, and Odin, I don't scream their names. I just talk to them. I talk to them like I'd be talking to a friend that's extremely dear to me,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
pancake breakfast stream. I think that's a great idea.
We do. Ooh, I like
that would be so. I'm never ever one to turn down pancakes.
Me either. Especially a pancake breakfast. Oh man, we did a lot of those when I was a kid.
So Nancy's weird weather thing is snow in the desert when I was a child, tumbleweeds rolling in the wind covered in snow.
Now that would be creepy.
That's cool.
Lots of tumbleweeds blowing, but not covered. Wow.
That's neat.
Yeah.
I've only seen tumbleweeds once in my life, and it was a lot of them. Like it covered the entire road. The road was covered. There was no more road.
Like that.
No more road.
What I could never figure out, why do tumbleweeds collect like that?
I don't know. Maybe because they're almost because they're so
they're pokey and grab.
Yeah, they just grab each other, and then another one rolls around and grabs it, and pretty soon it's a whole road full of tumbleweeds. All right, Jen says snow and ice in '79. I remember that. We snowmobiled all over town to help people get to the hospital. I was 8 helping people. Wow, that's neat.
That's awesome.
I remember that. It was the Blizzard of '79. There was a board game called the Blizzard of '79. I actually had that board game. I remember that.
I remember that blizzard.
Ben says, cool October in Kuwait. Clear, chilly, breezy night sky, complete 360 as far as the eye can see with open land to see the endless stars. It's magical. Oh, that sounds magical. Yeah, I've only had like one experience similar to that, and it wasn't as absent of light noise as what you're describing, but I was in the Mojave Desert in the middle of the night, and I had never seen so many stars. I had never seen the Milky Way so clear. I'm out there with my binoculars and I'm seeing freaking nebulas. I was just like in awe. So I can only imagine how beautiful that must have been.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, the sound of ice on the trees and the cracking tree limbs. Yes. Oh my gosh, that is a scary feeling.
That is a scary feeling.
I am so ready for 6 feet of snow, ready to hit the slopes. You always, oh, Nils, you and Scotty, such good friends. Yes, me too.
My weather? You want to hear my weather?
Yes, I do.
I got two. When I lived at Crater Lake National Park, one winter it snowed so much overnight that the plows couldn't keep up. And the heavy equipment plows that they use, because we'd get 18 feet of snow. Okay, huge amounts of snow. Snow tunnels is what you drove down. So, well, that night was the most beautiful, amazing night, because the sky was that silver color, and this is nighttime. The silver winter sky, but the flakes that were coming down, I swear to you, were the size of dessert plates.
Wow.
And of course, it was clumps of flakes, but it was damp enough that it was just huge. It was beautiful and totally dead silent.
Yeah, snow does have a way of making
And
everything.
I love the silence of a fresh fallen snow.
Mhm.
Nothing more peaceful.
Watching
Now,
people
my
like-
opposite here, we get in Tucson, we get thunder clouds that go, what? They're big, huge columns in the sky, and they're pop-up thunderstorms. They'll just come up out of nowhere.
right.
Well, I was watching one come in, and there's lightning up in the top of the cloud. It's not even reaching the ground, but you can see all these colors every time it would flash.
Mhm.
And it's just far enough away that you could just barely hear it rumble across the sky. Well, as it got closer and closer and closer, it brought hail. And the
Ooh.
hail was so intense. It was nickel-size hail. And I've never been through hail that big. It was so intense that I didn't know which door to look out, which window to go look out of, what to do. And then so I just stood in the middle of the room finally and went, enough, stop. And it did.
Wow. Wow.
So that's when Spirit told me, I think it's time for you to study a shamanic walk. I went, yeah.
Yeah.
I was shaking because it was enough. I was just too much. Stop. And it did. Just
It was
like somebody flipped a switch.
It's been my experiences in nature that have pushed me down a shamanic path as well.
Mhm.
You know, it's nature just, and the healing and the need for healing in the world, that all is leading me down that path. Nancy says, my mother gathered some tumbleweeds, sprayed them with white glitter paint, and hung cute little red angels on them as a decoration for our mantle at Christmas time. Oh, that is so
That's
beautiful.
When I was a little girl, because I'd grown up in the National Park Service, the people that you lived around had lived in lots of different parks. We had really good friends that had lived at Death Valley. There ain't no trees in Death Valley at Christmas time. So
No.
they would do stuff like that with tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
Stack them up, spray paint them white, decorate them like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I've seen people who put lights on those big, what are those?
Joshua
cactuses?
tree.
No, the
Joshua tree.
No, the cactuses that got the big arms.
Saguaro. My cactus?
Yes.
Saguaro.
Sororo. Yes, that's neat when they decorate them too.
As some people say it, saguaro, because it's S-A-G, but the G is silent. Saguaro. Saguaro.
Jen says snow makes everything clean and beautiful and silent, but also so loud when with nature sound. Yes.
When it's avalanching, oh man.
Janet DC says they say the Midwest is going to have more winter weather this year. Should be interesting. I'm ready to hunker down. Same here.
And you know what they're telling us? It's supposed to be warmer. We're supposed to have a warmer winter this year.
Yep. You had the colder winter and we had the warmer winter last year. Now we're flip-flopping because
Rain,
it's El Nino versus El Nino. So
yeah, and then we ended up with a monsoon that the first 2 months of monsoon, it rained and rained and rained and rained and rained. We already we still have a month we have the whole month of September yet to go, monsoon season, and we're already over our yearly average.
Right, yeah.
Over 5 inches since June.
All right, so my crazy story, I've got so many crazy weather stories because here in Wisconsin, I'm sure Jen will contest to this, but yeah, we have weather here. But I was working up in Sheboygan and we had a tornado warning. I was standing outside the building and I was looking towards the west. And on the other side of the freeway, I saw a tornado. It didn't come to us, but I saw this tornado kind of follow the edge of the freeway, hit a junkyard that sent tires flying through the sky. There were tires flying everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Everywhere there were just tires flying. And I'm like, everyone in the building. We all ran in the building. We all ran into the bathroom. We took the customers with us. When we came out, there were tires on our property. And that came from 2 miles down the road.
Wow.
That was pretty crazy. Yeah, Sheboygan is not too far from you. That is correct.
Janet says she didn't realize the Southwest has monsoons. That's when we get all our moisture here in the desert. We also, the months of January and December, if we have a wet season, that, really wet winter, that's what brings in the carpets of wildflowers in March. Oh, and I'm talking carpets of it. The desert is an amazing place to live.
It is. It really is. I remember
the extreme of everything. Hot, cold, beauty, ugly. It's all of it.
Yeah, the first time that I had one of the first times that I had a deeply, deeply spiritual connection with the land was in a desert. It was me walking into this desert and looking around and going, wow, this is such a barren place. How did people survive here? And then all of a sudden, everything that was alive became a very vibrant color. Like I started to see the life that was there, and it was just, I felt the frequency. It was, I don't know, it was just an amazing experience. Fatima says, or Fatima, sorry, I always want to say Fatima. Fatima. I'm going to just call you Susan.
I'm going to call her Varia.
Fatima's
her last name, Varia.
We had a very warm winter this past winter. Yeah, so did we. We had a warm winter, and I'm wondering if that's going to completely change now for this year because of El Nino versus El Nina.
We had both. We've had both this year because it's switching.
Oh, Floyd, you got to take off. Have a good day.
Love you, Flowing.
Love you.
Thanks for coming, sweetie.
Jen says, when I was a kid, my dad raced in Beaver Dam.
Oh, really?
Race was canceled. We were heading down Highway 33 and the tornado was coming. My dad pulled the hauler over and we got out of the truck and laid in the ditch. Yeah.
Yes. You got to be the lowest thing. Yeah. Maria is her first name.
Maria. Oh, I'm going to just call you Maria. Maria. Maria.
I love that name.
Nils says, I'm ready to snow bathe. Well, I'm coming with my camera.
I'll be there.
Yeah, well,
I want to go, Nils. I want to be at your outside bar, though. Your patio bar you set up. That's pretty nice.
The Njord Bar.
Yes.
The Njord Tiki Bar. When
that's a great
over,
tiki bar.
The trailer was flipped on its side with the race car on it. The straw went through huge trees. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was a bar up there. I think it was in Lamira. It was like a supper club. I don't think it's there anymore. And I can't remember the name of it. 44 Club or something like that. But they had a brick in a case that had a piece of straw that had gone through it.
I was going to say, I remember from Hurricane Andrew, there was this big hullabaloo about a piece of straw that went through, that was sticking through a tree. That tree trunk. Hurricane Andrew was the first. Actually, no, I'm trying to think. Was it Camille? I think it was Camille is the first real hurricane I remember. I'm aging myself, but that's a long time ago.
That's okay. I dropped the Maria because everyone in my family has Maria as the first name.
Okay. Family traditions.
FM. Fatima Maria.
FMB.
FF. Maria Fatima. MF. Yeah. Ah, that's it. Yes. It was Club 44. It was Club 44, Jen. Yes. Do you remember that brick? Did you ever see that? They had the brick with the straw through it. I thought that was pretty neat.
Crazy. Never underestimate the power of flow is all I got to say about all this wind and storm talk.
That's right. Let me ask one more question, and then Katie and I will do a couple readings. How's that sound?
Yeah.
What would you miss most about your home if you moved? What would you miss most about your home if you moved? And we're talking about your current home. Oh, you know what? I forgot to read the affirmation for today. I'll do that while you guys are thinking about that. All right. So the next one in line, last week was courage. This week is divine timing. Divine timing. And it says, everything is timing, and timing is everything. Gladly, I release my concern over timing and let things happen when and as they will. I trust that the divine schedule makers know what they're doing. It can take a long time to reach divine middle management. Yes, that is so true. Divine
It is so true. I love that.
Being
divine middle management. That's us.
Yes, having the faith and the courage to allow divine timing to happen sometimes is not easy for me. I really sometimes have that issue, but it is important for us to remember that when spirit is in control of the things that are happening,
yes.
In the Norse tradition, we believe in the weird, the weaving of the weird web, and I have tremendous trust in their ability to allow things to unfold exactly when they're supposed to happen. And I think the whole universe works that way, right? So
that's what manifestation is about, is you are asking for the life that you want because you're going to start living it right now. Not because you're waiting for it to happen for the angels or whoever to bring it to you. You have to fully believe in everything in you that you already have it. And
right.
When you're asking for it, you're asking for it in, like my card of the day today, you're asking for it in gratitude for receiving it. Not I want, because when you do that, you're reinforcing the lack that you have.
Yeah, I was telling Katie.
Universe, all you got to remember about manifestation is like attracts like. So if you're putting negative energy out, you're going to have a shitty day because you're going to get negative energy back. If you're putting out light and love, you want more love in your life, be more loving. You want more kindness in your life, overflow people with kindness.
That's right. That's right. All right, so let's look at some of people's answers here. Fatima said, all the memories of where we grew up, especially my parents. Yeah. Are your parents still with you, Fatima, or have your parents moved on to the next realm of existence? I still have my mom, but my dad has moved on. Jen says, I moved to Campbell Sport to live with my best friend, so I miss my grandson. If I left here, it would be the peace I find in the yard. Oh, yeah. And Nils says, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Thank you very much for putting that, Nils. I appreciate that. I live where I grew up, so I would miss home. Oh, yeah. I understand that, because where I live right now, I live in the house that my grandparents built. I bought it from my grandma. And so I literally grew up in this house, and I'm still in this house. And I hope to stay in this house until the day I die, because there is something about this land. It's generational now, right? It's generational. So, there's a connection here that I have nowhere else than right here in this place. So
this house was my parents' house as well. I inherited this house, but I also lived here with them, taking care of them since 1991. I've lived in this house for a really long time. I earned this
Yep.
house.
Yeah,
The way I look at it.
I moved in here in '92. But I've spent my whole life here,
Yeah.
So, and okay, Fatima, both of them have passed. Okay, well, I'm very sorry about that. I'm very sorry, but you know that they're always with you. They're always with you, guiding you and helping you along. I feel my dad all the time, all the time. And I've moved all over Cali, New York, Michigan, et cetera, Europe some. Wow. Were you in the military? Is that why you moved around so much? I stayed at home with my parent. I stayed with the home my parents bought. Oh, so it's generational for you too. Both parents were Air Force. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Oh, and you were too. Well, thank you for your service.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Both.
I appreciate that very much. You did the thing that I could not do. So thank you for that.
Well, they wouldn't take me.
They
I'm
wouldn't.
blind as a bat and I have flat feet. I tried. I wanted to go into the Air Force.
You were born in Sweden, weren't you, Nils? You were born there? When did you move to the United States? I'm also a little bit Swedish. And although I'm all the time pronouncing things wrong, and Nils just shakes his head like, "Oh, Dali."
You notice I didn't even
Dali.
try. I didn't even try. I was like, oh, cool, new people, hi. I was like, no, I bastardize people's names all the time. I'm sorry.
Well, Skaldvarger. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, or even close. Nancy says, that is so precious, Dali. As a child, I moved all over the country. Daddy got transferred lots to advance his career. As an only child, sometimes it was hard, but raised with unconditional love. Oh, but you know what, Nancy? I wonder if that didn't prepare you for, because you've been in so many different places, met so many different people, probably experienced, localized.
You don't
culture,
have problems making friends, do you?
Localized culture, it kind of prepares you to be a much more armed, open individual.
Yes.
And we love that. I love that about you very much. So.
You know what, Nancy? I just went, bing! We just connected big time because I was raised in the National Park Service. We moved every 2 years from the time I was 3 years old until I was 28 when we moved to Tucson. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. What that does for you when you have to change schools every 2 years and you leave all your friends behind and start all over again. When you finally get a home that you own and all that, I thought I would plant my roots and never want to leave. But you know what? I found myself, after I inherited this place, wanting to do the van life. Mm-hmm. I am very blessed with a quiet, safe neighborhood. Smack in the middle of Midtown Tucson, I am surrounded by unsafe neighborhoods, but not mine. My neighbors, we all watch out for each other to the point of I complain about them being nosy. But I'm glad they're nosy because they notice when something's not right.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of my hood too. You know how, Katie, how
your hood parties together though. My hood used to do that.
We party together all the time. Okay, we take care of each other. We make sure that everything is good, and we all notice. And Chrissy is the best. Chrissy grew up in the projects. All right,
she's the neighborhood watch.
I used to watching out the windows and watching what people were doing. Okay, so she has that built into her. It is part of her persona, and she knows what's going on in this neighborhood all the time. A car drives by that she doesn't recognize. She's like, "What is that car doing out there? You better keep going." Yeah, we call it neighborhood watch. Yes, very much so. And Nancy says,
I'll be out there watering and a car goes by, and if they're going by too slow, boy, do they get the eye. I'm standing there with my hose, not paying attention to where it's at, but I'm sure as hell staring at them. Why are you driving by so slow?
Yeah.
That's why my neighborhood is safe. My house is built in 1952. It's brick, block. The wind ain't going to blow it over. Might rip the roof off, but that's I feel totally safe. And then I have a practice that I do at the start of every month. I ask Archangel Michael to cocoon me, all the people that I love, and my property at the fence line. Cocoon me in your shield of reflection. Let any negative energy that comes or tries to come my way hit that shield and be reflected back onto its originator.
Yeah, I like that.
100 times over.
Yep. I
And
do.
it works, y'all. Use that. Use that.
I do a
Archangel Michael
quarterly.
is our protector.
I do a quarterly blessing of my yard to kind of keep things away. And, we've never been robbed when our neighbors all around us have been, at one point or another throughout the time that I've been here. They've had their cars broken into and stuff, or the garages, but I have not. Nancy said, being shy, I learned to network.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh.
That's also living where you have to change schools all the time and you have to make new friends and you're always the damn new kid. Good. Anyway,
Yeah.
When you grow up that way, it makes you more social, but it also makes you an introvert.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys believe that I'm an introvert? I really am.
Yeah, I'm
very much so.
I'm
more comfortable with my own company than I am with anyone else.
I'm an introvert who's good at interpersonal relationships.
I am an introvert who was forced to be an extrovert. I can give a speech in front of 500 people.
Oh, me too. And I have.
That's what I got the number from.
Many times. Jen says, that's how I am, Dali. We call it street smarts. Now I'm out there watching tractors, ATVs, side-by-sides, and even horses come down the street. Oh, that's funny. And Jen says, I point out all kinds of stuff here that Sherry never noticed before. I made her more aware around here. Yeah, that's kind of what Chrissy did for me, too. Hey, let's pull a card, Katie.
Okay. I'm going to go knock on my neighbor's door. I got a neighbor that has a taco truck.
You should say, hey.
Can I work for you? No, I don't want to work in that hot truck, but you know what, dude? Can you teach me how you make tacos? I love the different ways that people make tacos.
I'd walk over there with something that you made, one of those pretty dishes, and say, hey, can I trade you this beautiful resin coaster set for, like a 10-pack of tacos?
Yeah. His wife works for the Center for Diversity. And he used to be in charge. He was the CFO for the Humane Society.
Let's do a general reading here on, just what we need to focus on for the rest of the day today for our group.
I'm going to use my cards.
You go ahead and use your cards. You go ahead and use your cards. I'm using Earth Wisdom Oracle. And
it's funny. I was going to use the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms, and while we were waiting to come on, I was just playing and shuffling my cards, and you wouldn't believe the story I got. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to use these.
Okay, you do that. And we're going to ask the angels to protect us. We're going to ask the spirits of the land and my home, the land Vatir and the Hus Vatir, to surround us. And we're going to ask the ancestors to give us wisdom. What does our group need to know for the rest of the day, Spirit? What do you want us to, provide to them that they might need to know?
Spirit, help me step aside and speak through me.
Okay, I am ready, so I'll show mine first. I got relief. Well, actually, let me make myself big here just for a second here. Solo layout. There we go. I got relief. And just look at her face. Well, first of all, look at the sun shining down over her back onto her shoulders and the crown of her head. Okay. And then look at she's holding a flower that is letting go of, I don't know if it's pollen or it's petals or it's leaves and seeds. I don't know what it's letting go of, but it's releasing. The plant in her hand is releasing. And the feeling that I'm getting from Spirit for this card is, if you are feeling something heavy today, and it's weird because over the last few days, I have had so many people come to me or mention to me that they had something that really heavy that like came up out from the past out of nowhere, something they haven't thought about in forever, that just sort of bubbled up and made them feel a certain kind of way, and they got stuck in that memory, stuck in the either in the shame of it, the shame that it caused for them, or the anger it caused for them, negative, darker emotions, is what I'm talking about. And I was telling them, I'm like, it's weird, but that seems to be happening to so many people right now. And I feel like spirit is calling us at this point in time to release. And so if you've got something like that that's hanging over you, please take some time today to just let that go. Forgive yourself. That little child that you were, that often these feelings come out of our childhood, right? That
Absolutely.
little child that you were, that teenager.
The ones that blindside you come from when you were 3 and you didn't even know it happened.
Right. And all of a sudden it's a memory and you're just like, wow.
Yeah.
There's been many times where I've had to call my mom and say, hey, did this happen? Is this a real memory? Oh yeah, that did happen.
And I have nobody I can ask. I don't even have anybody I can ask that to except for spirit form. My mom I talk to all the time.
Right. You'll have to go into spirit and talk to your mom that way. But you got to release these things. So give that little inner child a big hug and say, hey, you know what? I forgive you. You're safe. Everything's okay. And forgive and move on. So I feel like something it must be just sort of the astrological point that we're at, with the waning of the summer and the beginning of the fall,
It's the age of Aquarius. It's where we are coming into the age of Aquarius. We are in the age of Aquarius, and it's the point we're at. Okay. We're at the. This is what Spirit's telling me. We are at the energy buildup that would equal an abscess that has reached its full ripening point. Things are going to go.
Well, Katie, I'm going to make you big now so that you can.
Okay, I got a story. I ended up with more than one card. But it's interesting because my first one came up with stagnation. We have been in a point as a society where we've been stagnating. We've just been putting our foot in front of the other and going through life. I got us this schedule. I got this deadline. And that's been our focus. And what that does to you is provide a place for the leeches and the mosquitoes to come and suck your energy out. It's the other thing that I got. The way you can prevent this and come out of this is by realizing your magic. When it's dark, talk to the moths. Reach out with a candle. Make your potions. Make your moon water. And drink it with reverence and ceremony. Don't worry about feeling stagnated because, like Dali was just saying, stuff was coming up. And this stuff that's coming up is going to feel kind of stinky, some of it, but you'll make it through it. Because once you realize a true love story never ends. So if you approach everything from the point of view of love, you'll find your healing and you'll be able to release things. The way you find this true love is from goddess energy. That's why she's here. And she's here. It's not the goddess is coming back. She's here. You can feel her back in our government. And that is what I celebrate. She is telling us there are 2 things that you must do. Number 1 is self-love, self-care. Ruben, you put yourself first. Put yourself first. You can't help others if you're not healthy and healed. You can't even see where they might need a suggestion to help change their perception because you're so absorbed in your unhealthiness. So take care of you. And then open your heart to the collective. There's nothing that we cannot do together. And that's my message.
That was awesome, Katie. Thank you so much for bringing that message from Spirit forward to us today. And I'm seeing that Nils is giving us kind of an outro here. The air is getting cooler. It's now time for cozy scarves and warm sweaters. The leaves are falling, the trees are growing bare, and all life begins to decline and turn inward. The green we have become accustomed to during summer transition to paint the landscape in every shade of crimson, copper, and gold. The whispers of the brisk fall wind tickles the imagination, while aromas bring us back to childhood as though we had never left. Oh, that is so beautiful. The comforting aroma of simmering spices, crackling fireplaces, crunchy fall leaves envelop us like a warm hug. This is the harvest season. And as stagnant as the flow might feel right now, our culture can make us feel awkward when we're resting, waiting, not knowing what's going to come next, for sure. But these are the signs of seasonal energy, a darker, softer, slower energy, which is what we need to nourish ourselves during the cold, dark months. From an energetic perspective, our bodies want us to slow down in the fall and winter months. When the sun becomes cooler and less present, there's more energy in the air. During the summer, most of us use this bright energy to be outside, to run around, and to take a break from work. We can learn a lot in the slowness of isolation and stagnation. Yes, the seasons continue to cycle, and Mani continues to fill an empty phasing through his cycles every month. Our bodies are shifting and changing too, and when we slow down, we feel that energy more, like Isa. Yes. Yes. Oh, thank you, Nils, so much.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I really appreciate that.
I got touched while you were reading that. Thank you, Nils.
Yes, I love
the tingles.
I love the wisdom that Nils brings to me, and I belong to the Fellowship of Northern Traditions Discord, and he's often posting things in there that just sort of rock my heart and my mind and my soul.
I'm looking at his. As a writer, I'm looking at his prose, and thank you very much, my friend.
All right, guys.
Well, talented.
It's 11:02, so I'm going to head out. I know I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I would like you to stick around for just a second because I am going to play you my new outro, and I'd like to know what you guys think.
Practice this today.
What is it? Dreaming?
Decency.
Oh, decency. Yes. All right. I'm pulling us down now. So let me just hang on, guys, and watch the outro. And again, I love you. And so does Katie. So here we go.
Thank you for coming to my show. I'll see you all next time. You all rock. Dolly loves you. Dance around the room. It's time to go. Why are you still here? And a nap. I'll see you next time. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Thank you for coming to my show. I'll see you all next time. You all rock. Dolly loves you. All rock. Dolly loves you. Dance the room. It's time to go. Why are you still here? Dolly, you still here? Have a great day.